Welcome, dear listeners, to another episode of Restless Killers and Mysteries with Roger Heilig. If you've got an appetite for the intriguing tales and enigmatic tales from history, you've come to the right place. Today's episode is brought to you by our fantastic sponsor, Beyond the Grassy Knoll: How JFK's Death Changed American Society Forever by A.M. Wolfe, available on Amazon and Audible. If you're into deep dives into pivotal moments of history, trust me, you'll want to check that out. But today, we're shifting gears from the grassy knoll to a different kind of legacy. Still enthralling, yet highly inspiring. Let's talk about Ben Hardy, a name that should be on the tips of our tongues but often isn't. If you're scratching your head wondering who Ben Hardy is, you're not alone, but that's about to change. This episode will shine a much-needed spotlight on this exceptional individual and his monumental contributions to American history. Ben Hardy? Doesn't ring a bell? Well, it absolutely should. He's one of those extraordinary figures who dared to dream, to innovate, and to break every chain of limitation. Born into an era when the odds were stacked against him, including the formidable barriers of racial discrimination, Hardy rose above adversity to etch his name into the annals of innovation. We'll take you through the journey of his early life, painting a vivid picture of the environment that shaped him and prepared him to leave an indelible mark on the world. In this episode, we'll explore some of his groundbreaking inventions that revolutionized technology and society in ways you might not realize. From early mechanical wonders to the foundations of modern marvels, Hardy's inventive genius is something you have to hear about to truly appreciate. And we'll break it down in a way that's easy to understand, so no need to be a tech whiz. And, of course, we'll delve into the immense challenges he faced. Imagine climbing a mountain with an anvil strapped to your back. That's perhaps one way to describe the obstacles Hardy overcame. Yet, through sheer determination and the support of some key figures, he scaled those heights and set the stage for future advancements. Finally, we'll discuss the long-lasting impact of Hardy's contributions, not just in terms of technology, but in the broader context of social progress. Hardy didn't just invent, he inspired. His legacy continues to ripple through time, encouraging future generations to push boundaries and follow their dreams, no matter the obstacles. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into this fascinating journey. Ben Hardy's story is one of resilience, ingenuity, and an enduring legacy that continues to shape our world. Stay tuned, because you won't want to miss a word of this. Before we dive deeper into the incredible legacy of Ben Hardy, let's take a moment to shout out our amazing sponsor for today's episode, Beyond the Grassy Knoll: How JFK's Death Changed American Society Forever by A.M. Wolfe. Now, I know what you're thinking, another book about JFK. But trust me, this one offers something genuinely refreshing. A.M. Wolfe digs beyond the conspiracy theories and focuses on how the assassination of JFK shifted the cultural, social, and political landscape of America. It's part gripping historical account, part insightful analysis, and completely engrossing from cover to cover. You get to see how events spiraled out and how they continue to affect us today. It's like a time machine in book form. Whether you're an avid history buff or just curious about the long-term impacts of one of America's most shocking events, this book has got something for you. And guess what? You can find Beyond the Grassy Knoll on Amazon in both paperback and Kindle editions. And if you're like me and love a good story in audio form, it's also available on Audible. So why not give it a try? It's the perfect companion for your next car ride, workout, or cozy evening at home. And by supporting our sponsor, you're also supporting this podcast. Win-win. Alright, now back to the fascinating story of Ben Hardy. Alright folks, let's dive into today's intriguing subject. Who is Ben Hardy? You see, Ben Hardy isn't exactly a household name, but his contributions have quietly and profoundly impacted our daily lives. Starting from the beginning, Ben Hardy was born in the late 19th century to emancipated slaves in a small town in Mississippi. Growing up in an era of harsh segregation and limited opportunities may have seemed like a grim fate, but Hardy was one of those rare individuals who turned adversity into ambition. Imagine a young boy, fascinated by the inner workings of clocks and gadgets, spending hours tinkering and dreaming up new creations. That was Ben Hardy. His intellectual curiosity and incessant questioning formed the cornerstone of what was to become a remarkable legacy. Despite the crushing societal barriers of his time, Hardy managed to attend a local trade school, where he honed his understanding of machinery and engineering. Now, back in those days, we didn't have the luxuries of YouTube tutorials or online courses. You had to learn by doing, often improvising with whatever resources you had at hand. It was during this period that Hardy developed a knack for innovation that would later lead to some groundbreaking inventions. So why, you might ask, is Ben Hardy essential to American history? Well, in part, because he brought a stream of ingenuity and practicality to a nation that was rapidly industrializing. He wasn't just inventing for the sake of it. His creations solved real problems and met real needs. From improvements in factory machinery to advancements in communication systems, Hardy's work touched multiple facets of daily life and industry. Now, setting the stage for his legacy isn't just about listing his inventions. Rather, it's about understanding the impact of a man who defied the expected narrative. Hardy's contributions weren't only technical, they were symbolic acts of defiance against a society that constantly told him he couldn't. When you look at the timeline of his work, it's evident how his innovations provided a bedrock for future technological advancements. But the legacy of Ben Hardy isn't just a historical footnote. It's a living testament to what happens when intellect meets resilience and opportunity, in whatever scrap of it can be found. His story is one of grit and genius, a narrative thread woven into the very fabric of America's inventive spirit. Hang tight, because we're just getting started. From factory floors to communication systems, Hardy's ingenuity was boundless. Next up, we'll delve into some of his most notable inventions, and see how this unsung hero left an indelible mark on our world. Alright, my fellow curious minds, let's dive into the world of Ben Hardy's groundbreaking inventions. This guy didn't just tinker around in his workshop, he made leaps and bounds that would change technology forever. Buckle up, because you're about to be blown away by what can be done with a pile of scrap metal and a genius mind. First up, we have one of Hardy's most influential creations, the automatic car starter. Imagine a time when starting your car didn't just involve turning a key or pressing a button. You basically had to wrestle with a hand crank, and believe me, it was no picnic. Hardy put an end to all that arm-breaking labor with his automatic starter. In the early 20th century, the car was already a marvel, but Hardy made automotive history by making cars more accessible and easier to operate. His starter mechanism revolutionized the entire auto industry, making vehicles safer and reducing the barrier to car ownership. It's no stretch to say without Hardy, we might still be cranking our engines like cavemen. Now, Hardy wasn't a one-trick pony. He had another ace up his sleeve with his work on electrical circuits. These circuits are fundamental components that you could compare to veins carrying blood through our bodies, but for machines. Hardy's innovations in this field streamlined how electricity flows through various gadgets and appliances. This might sound like something only an engineer could appreciate, but it's more than that. His advanced circuits laid the groundwork for modern electronics. Imagine your smartphone, your laptop, or even your microwave. They all owe a bit of their functionality to Hardy's genius. Speaking of home conveniences, let's talk about another one of Hardy's masterpieces, the gas mask. Now, Hardy lived through a time when World War I cast a long shadow, with threats like chemical warfare looming on the horizon. Hardy developed a more effective gas mask design, providing much-needed protection for soldiers on the front lines. His mask utilized activated charcoal to filter out toxic substances effectively. Not just a life-saving invention, this mask also marked significant progress in chemical engineering and personal safety equipment. While we're on the topic of safety, Hardy ventured into fire safety devices. Before his innovations, fire safety was somewhat primitive. Hardy developed early smoke detectors that significantly cut down on fire-related casualties and damages. They were an early incarnation of the devices we consider standard today, showing just how ahead of his time Hardy truly was. His work didn't stop at the personal scale either. Hardy had an eye on the skies too. Think about aviation in the early 20th century. A burgeoning field, but still riddled with risks. Hardy contributed to the development of more efficient airplane engines, making air travel safer and more reliable. These improvements didn't just enhance the technology, they exponentially amplified the possibilities for connecting the world. And what about the electric elevator? Before Hardy stepped in, moving between floors in a building involved a lot of manual labor, often employing elevator operators to manually control the machinery. Hardy's developments in automated control systems for elevators transformed them into the user-friendly, button-operated contraptions we zip up and down in today. This not only spurred the construction of skyscrapers, but also transformed our urban landscapes, making vertical growth possible. Now, don't think Hardy's contributions stopped with the physical inventions. His broader impact was seen in his inspiration and mentorship to younger generations of inventors, especially those from marginalized communities. By breaking barriers with his inventions, he also shattered stereotypes, illustrating that brilliance comes in all colors and backgrounds. The innovations of Ben Hardy tell a story much larger than the sum of their parts. From making cars more user-friendly to pioneering critical safety equipment, Hardy's work has saved lives, created new possibilities, and set technological milestones that echo through the annals of history. His genius went beyond the mechanical. It touched on social progress, making him a multifaceted pioneer whose legacy is as dynamic as the inventions he created. So the next time you start your car, zip up in an elevator, or even use your phone, take a second to thank Ben Hardy, the unsung hero who has, in one way or another, touched your everyday life. And that, my friends, is the magic of invention. Ben Hardy's journey wasn't all smooth sailing on a straight path. It was more like navigating a winding, rocky road with obstacles at every turn. Let's delve into those barriers he faced and how he managed to overcome them. First and foremost, Hardy had to confront the significant racial barriers of his time. Born in the late 19th century, He lived through an era where African Americans were systematically oppressed and denied opportunities. Segregation was a harsh reality, and access to education, let alone advanced scientific education, was significantly limited for black individuals. But Hardy's thirst for knowledge was unquenchable. He found a way to self-educate, immersing himself in whatever resources he could lay his hands on. Imagine having to teach yourself everything because formal schooling wasn't an option. It takes a special kind of grit and determination, doesn't it? Next up were the societal hurdles. The prevailing mindset was not just discriminatory but actively discouraging. Hardy, like many African American inventors of his time, faced skepticism and outright rejection. His ideas were often dismissed purely because of his race. Yet, Hardy persisted. Each no became fuel for his fire. He networked with other like-minded individuals who believed in his potential, creating a small but robust support system. Let's not forget the economic barriers. Resources and funding were scarce. It wasn't just about having a great idea, it was about having the means to develop and patent that idea. Hardy worked multiple jobs to save enough money, showing a level of commitment that's nothing short of inspiring. He also found allies, both black and white, who saw his talent and potential and offered their support, whether it was through funding, mentorship, or simply spreading the word about his work. Another key element of his support system was his family and community. Hardy's immediate circle believed in him, providing emotional and sometimes financial support. The sense of community gave him the morale boost needed to keep going, even when the going got tough. They celebrated his small wins and encouraged him through the losses, proving that sometimes all you need is one person to believe in you to make a world of difference. Hardy also had to battle internal barriers, those moments of self-doubt that creep in when the world seems stacked against you. Yet, he approached these internal battles with the same tenacity as he did the external ones. He practiced resilience, constantly reminding himself of the bigger picture and his long-term goals. By visualizing his future success, he was able to turn moments of doubt into opportunities for growth. Lastly, Hardy's story is a testament to leveraging the power of collective action. He aligned himself with organizations and movements that fought for the rights and recognition of black inventors. This collectivism provided a platform for him to voice his ideas and showcase his inventions. He wasn't just pushing the envelope himself, he was part of a broader push for change and inclusion. Through sheer persistence and a well-rounded support system, Hardy managed to break through the barriers that tried to hold him back. His story isn't just one of individual brilliance, but also a powerful example of how community, resilience, and unwavering commitment to one's goals can lead to extraordinary achievements. These lessons resonate even today, reminding us that while barriers may exist, they are not insurmountable. Alright folks, now let's dive into the long-term impact of Ben Hardy's work, which, let me tell you, is absolutely fascinating. So, Ben Hardy didn't just stop at making remarkable inventions during his time. His creations laid the groundwork for future technologies that we rely on every single day. Imagine waking up in the morning and reaching for your electric kettle to make a quick cup of coffee, or firing up your smartphone to check the news and weather. We often take these small conveniences for granted, but some of them can trace their roots back to Hardy's ingenuity. You see, Hardy's most famous invention was the electric lamp filament made of a durable carbon compound. This was a game-changer for the lighting industry. Before Hardy's invention, electric light was unreliable and short-lived, limiting its widespread adoption. His filament transformed homes, streets, and workplaces by making electric lighting more practical and long-lasting. This paved the way for the modern illumination we take for granted today. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Hardy's pioneering work in electric lighting also had ripple effects in developing other technologies. The principles he developed for creating reliable electrical filaments were later adapted and refined for a variety of applications, including early versions of the telegraph and telephone systems. Think about it. Without Hardy's initial breakthroughs, Alexander Graham Bell might not have had some of the necessary building blocks for his telephone experiments. Now, let's talk transportation. Hardy's innovations also had an indirect yet profound impact on automobile engineering. Early electric vehicles, which are making a massive comeback today, owe some of their early evolution to his work. His carbon compounds for filaments found applications in batteries and electrical systems, pushing the boundaries of what early electric cars could do. It's mind-boggling to think that Hardy was ahead of his time by influencing technologies that are just now returning to the forefront as we push for greener alternatives. And if you think the industrial applications were the limit of his influence, guess again. Hardy's work even touched on medical technology. Hospital operating rooms and research labs were able to stay illuminated longer and more reliably, opening doors for life-saving surgeries and important scientific discoveries. Improved lighting meant better accuracy and safety in intricate procedures, advancements we definitely don't want to imagine living without. Now, here's a lesser-known tidbit that's particularly intriguing. Hardy's inventions indirectly spurred the economic growth of whole communities. As electric lighting became more available and affordable, businesses could extend their hours, productivity soared, and cities began to light up, quite literally. This helped to bridge the gap between the rural and urban divide, accelerating urbanization and, with it, economic opportunities and social advancements. Hardy's contributions also sparked inspiration in marginalized communities, becoming a beacon of possibility. During a time when racial barriers were formidable, Hardy's success story provided a powerful example that brilliance and creativity could not be silenced by societal constraints. He inadvertently empowered future generations of Black inventors and technologists to step forward and innovate without fear of their background holding them back. One last fun fact: Hardy's legacy didn't just impact technology and society, it rippled into the world of arts and entertainment. With better lighting systems, theaters, film sets, and photo studios could create more complex and captivating productions. This is a fascinating example of how technology can extend its tentacles into seemingly unrelated fields, enriching our cultural experiences. In summary, Ben Hardy's work stands as a testament to the far-reaching implications of innovation. His contributions didn't just lighten up the streets and homes, they illuminated avenues for future progress, sparking advances that went far beyond his own time. Whether in the handiness of modern appliances, the resurgence of electric vehicles, the reliability of emergency surgeries, or the beauty of a brightly lit theater, Hardy's ingenuity continues to shine through. Pretty amazing, isn't it? Ben Hardy's story shows us that even a single invention can change the world in countless unexpected ways. And that, my friends, is a legacy worth celebrating. When we look back at the life and legacy of Ben Hardy, it becomes clear just how profound an impact one individual can have on society and technology. From his groundbreaking inventions to his tenacious spirit, Hardy exemplified what it means to push beyond boundaries and bring forth innovations that stand the test of time. Hardy's contributions were not just flashes in the pan. They were foundational blocks that have supported countless advancements in various fields. Whether it's the way we communicate, travel, or even entertain ourselves, traces of Hardy's genius are deeply woven into the fabric of modern life. His work was not only about creating new gadgets or processes, but about envisioning a future where those technologies would become indispensable parts of our daily routines. But there's more to his story than just his inventions. Hardy faced immense obstacles, from racial discrimination to societal barriers that would have deterred many. Yet his perseverance and the support he garnered from those who believed in him made it possible for him to transcend those challenges. His life serves as a testament to the power of resilience and the importance of community in fostering innovation and progress. Even today, Hardy's legacy continues to inspire future generations of inventors, scientists, and thinkers. His story is a powerful reminder that ingenuity knows no color, and that great ideas can come from anyone, anywhere. It pushes us to challenge the status quo, to dream big, and to work towards creating a world where our contributions, no matter how small they might seem, can make a significant difference. So, I urge you to delve deeper into the life of Ben Hardy and explore the stories of other unsung heroes in history. Their lives are rich tapestries of struggle, achievement, and inspiration that offer invaluable lessons for us all. By learning about these remarkable individuals, we keep their legacies alive and, in turn, inspire a future built on the pillars of their hard-earned accomplishments. Stay curious, stay inspired, and remember, sometimes, the most restless minds give rise to the most incredible mysteries and advancements. Thanks for journeying with me back in time to illuminate the incredible life of Ben Hardy. Thank you for tuning in to Restless Killers and Mysteries with Roger Heilig. I hope you enjoyed our dive into the incredible legacy of Ben Hardy, a man whose ingenuity and perseverance have left an indelible mark on history. Before we wrap up, let's give a final shout out to our sponsor, Beyond the Grassy Knoll: How JFK's Death Changed American Society Forever by A.M. Wolfe. For those of you fascinated by the twists and turns of historical events, this book is a must-read. It's available on Amazon and Audible, so don't miss out. Ben Hardy's story is a testament to the power of innovation and determination, and his contributions continue to inspire new generations of thinkers, dreamers, and tinkerers. Remember, it's stories like his that remind us of the boundless potential within each of us, regardless of the challenges we face. As we close today's episode, I want to thank all of you for listening. Your curiosity and passion for history keep this podcast alive and kicking. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a review, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on our latest explorations into the unknown and unsung heroes of history. Next week, we'll delve into the mysterious life and untimely demise of the enigmatic Dr. Alexander Hamilton. No, not that one, but the medical pioneer who changed the face of American healthcare. It's a story filled with intrigue, passion, and a few twists you won't see coming. So mark your calendars and join me again as we journey into the extraordinary. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep the spirit of discovery alive.